Welcome back to the Morning Edition. The Bahamas Contractors Association is a voice of those in the construction industry in the country. And as you can imagine, that sector has been faced with a number of challenges, especially in the wake of Hurricane Dorian. Joining us live here on the Morning Edition to talk about those challenges and to address some of the concerns is President of the BCA, Michael Pratt. Mr. Pratt, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you, LaDawn. It's nice to be here. Morning.
No, in the House of Assembly, sorry to cut you off, but in the House of Assembly several weeks ago, the minister responsible for disaster preparedness and reconstruction, Aaron Lewis, made several announcements about, I guess, us building our homes on stilts. Are you able to talk to us a little bit about that, and what are your recommendations for that?
Sure, I can talk a little about that. You know, when we think stilts, sometimes we think of something that's a little fragile. But what it's referring to, in essence, is pilings. All right. Some people have built their homes on wooden piles, but it's highly recommended that we use the concrete or the steel piles. Those are the ones that are more secure and give you a better foundation for your home. As we build our homes, the strength of our homes is in the foundation, and those piles give you an elevation where your home is now about 9 to 12 feet above the ground level. We must take in consideration, LaDawn, the water action that's coming at us, the wave action, and the wind action. And the higher we go and the stronger we build our homes, the better they are for us.
So do you think that's a good recommendation for us, seeing that we had Hurricane Dorian?
Absolutely it is, and we must take in consideration the location, though. If you're building your home on the waterfront, okay, that's important that you think elevation, because, you know, you have the waves coming in, the wind coming at you, and if you can at least try to minimize one of those, you know, it's better for you in the long run, for your home, for the insurance industry, everything related.
So what do you suggest? What do you recommend?
I recommend that we think about the auger piles. Auger piles is concrete and rebar that is really strong. You know, it could go down as deep as 35 feet. A lot of times we consider the cost of these things, the cost of strengthening our homes. That's important, all right? But at the same time, it's also important not to lose your home or to lose lives. And if this can be done, you know, through the proper installation of these piles. We must also think insulation is important, okay? The quality of insulation is also extremely important. So we must deal with the engineers, proper contractors to install these piles.
And talk to me about, I guess, BCA. Are you guys currently in discussions with the government, I guess, to revise our country's building codes? How are things going with that?
I can say it's going well. We are not actively involved. We are indirectly involved in a lot of areas, being involved in certain organizations that have been in place for years, you know, along with the government, all right, to strengthen our codes. Right now we're dealing with the electrical codes, like Hurricane Dorian caught us in preparation of addressing a lot of these codes, and it has sped up. It has sped up the discussion now that we must seriously address and make sure that our codes are adequate. There's been a lot of discussion from both sides of the aisle. Some saying they are, some saying they're not. But we find that the important thing is that we must properly address it now, because the storms have increased.
How soon do you think that would happen?
This is an ongoing process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's ongoing.
Are there any challenges for the BCA as we go, I guess, as we head into another hurricane season? Is there any challenges for the BCA?
Sure, we have our challenges, but one of the main challenges that we have for the BCA is the regulation of our industry, the construction industry, which is still not properly regulated. Contractors are still not licensed, as a lot of you would know. In order to do this, a bill is being passed from May 2016, and we need to have the board put in place. The image of our industry, and as the image of our industry, as our industry goes, the challenges of the BCA will continue to exist, because we fight, we advocate, we educate. You know, we do whatever it takes to make sure that our industry improves.
Is the BCA involved in the small home repairs program that was launched recently, or you guys are not affiliated with that?
Once again, not directly, okay? But our thing is to continue to, we have formed a group called the Bahamas Contractors, ACE Alliance, architects, contractors, and engineers. We have put a lot of proposals into the government, all right, that will allow us to bring the private element, the private sector, into the reconstruction and rebuilding of our country. So we have offered a lot of training opportunities. We have offered to go there and assist with the inspections and approval of plans to speed up the process. We've put a lot of proposals into government. And this is the engineers, the contractors, and the architects.
What are some of the concerns that I guess members of the BCA have been coming to you about, I guess on a daily basis or as a result of meetings? What have they been saying to you about, I guess, the way forward for the industry?
They've been saying across the board, we need work. We need to be a part of the process. We need work. So what we have done, we have created we love, I like to shout it now, we love them to register their skills in a database. A lot of them come, but nobody is aware that they're there. All right? A lot of them are being relocated. Could you imagine after the storm, they've moved into other islands and they're now waiting on the jobs. If they knew that, the work was available and it's being zoned properly, they would probably relocate back to the areas that were, we would consider ground zero. Our concern, though, is that they come in, the NGOs are looking for workers, the government looking for workers, a lot of people, private, are looking for workers, and they're just saying the workers are not there because they can't put their hands right on them. So we have asked a lot of our workers, a lot of our members, and the Bahamians at large, not just the BCA members, to register at the bahamascontractors.org /register your skill. If you can't get onto that, please call me, 376-2131. We like to know where you are so we can get you back to ground zero as safely and quickly as possible.
Michael Pratt, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and best of luck to you and the members of the BCA.